Hi, we're here with, what's his name? I don't even know the author's name. That's pretty bad. I don't know it. Okay. Oh. Yeah. See, the tricks of television. Hi, everyone. I'm Jonathan Jackson. Jonathan Jackson. I said that. Did I say that right? Okay. Okay, our camera guy is, you know, the thing about this is I try to come and do my shoot, my personal thing, and then our camera guy just jumps in front of the camera and tries to take over the show. This is not how it works. Do you understand how television works? Sir, hello, sir. David, David. Okay, all right. Now there's this friend, and he don't even want to talk to me. Okay, great. This even gets better. Now he's not even paying attention to me. So I really don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to film a show here. Hello. Oh, great. Hello. Hey, are you ready? David, can you bring David over here? Hey, will you stop the camera? All right, we have a. Get on this side of me. Hi, everyone. I'm Jonathan Jackson here at Outwrite. Okay, I'm not supposed to say Outright. We're not supposed to plug them.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jonathan Jackson, and we're here to interview Thomas Glave, who's in town to do a reading of his book entitled Whose Song? And we have Brad Ward here, otherwise known as Jeff Ward. And he read the book, and he's here to see this author. You're a big fan. What do you think about his writings?
It's absolutely marvelous. I'm just so inspired by him. It's just fabulous.
Okay. What about the book that intrigued you? What is it about the book that intrigued you?
There are just so many things. It's hard to mention even just one of them. It's hard to narrow down to one. So just the whole book is just awesome.
Okay. This atmosphere. I want to ask you a personal question for a minute. I'm sorry to change the subject. How does it feel to be gay?
Awesome. Totally feels awesome. Okay. Totally love to be me.
Oh, okay. How'd you know you were gay?
I was attracted to guys.
Okay, good answer. Okay, we're getting somewhere with this. Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. You've been. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you very much. All right. Have a good day. Do you guys want to talk with him one-on-one? Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan Jackson, and I'm here about to interview Thomas Glave. Coming up next, he's the author of a new book entitled Whose Song? And I'll be talking with him next. Hi, everyone. I'm Jonathan Jackson from Out TV, and we're going to be interviewing Thomas Glave, an author of a new book entitled Whose Song? Coming up next. Okay, now I quickly want to introduce you to my soon-to-be husband, Brad Ward. Hi, Brad. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I don't know
I'm
why.
so proud of you.
He paid me to do this.
It cost me a lot of money too. Money that I was going to put towards a ring.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
goes on honeymoon in the tropics.
Thank you, Brad.
Oh, thank you.
My God, like, what else do we have to do here at Out TV but film stupid stuff? Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan Jackson from Out TV, and we're here with the ever so talented Thomas Glave, who has written a new book entitled Whose Song. Thank you, Mr. Glave, for joining us. You have been recognized as following the paths of such greats as James Baldwin and Richard Wright. How does that feel?
Well, I really appreciate the support and the acclaim. It's certainly very gratifying. And I think that one of the best things about hearing people say those things is feeling that there is so much work to be done and we can learn so much from those writers. So that just in all the work that they left behind, the legacies, there's a great deal to absorb and to think about.
Writing these stories, they become sort of like a baby, I guess. And sort of to let them be published and be out there. Those are your words. Those are your stories. How does that affect you in any way? Is that hard to let go of a book that's out there and everybody else has? Is that hard to let go of your possession almost? You know?
Yeah, I think that there's a moment when you really do feel the kind of sort of regret that the book is done, that it's actually a completed unit, and that it's no longer your little private affair anymore that you're sort of nurturing. Suddenly it has a public life, and other people interact with the work in a way that is not going to be something that you would have anticipated, perhaps, At the same time, though, there's the kind of joy of seeing people interact with the book and knowing that they're getting all kinds of things as the individual readers they are, right, that you might not have anticipated. So that's all, I think, part of the parcel and really also very gratifying.
You're on a pretty extensive tour right now. Where did you begin? And do you drive yourself everywhere on the tour, all the way from New York? That's where you currently live and teach as well?
Right, yeah. I started...
I'm going to let him hold it.
Well, you can hold it for me if you want.
Okay. I'll just move over.
The right way.
Do I need to start over?
I mean, I heard it, but it was kind of difficult, but it's up to you.
Okay. Okay, we'll just start over. Okay. Get them to clap this time. No, don't let them clap. It doesn't matter. I don't care. We have to hurry though. Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan Jackson on behalf of Out TV, and we're here with the ever so talented Thomas Glave, who has written a new book entitled Whose Songs that is composed of different stories regarding real life issues. He has been noticed as walking in the footsteps of such greats such as Richard Wright and James Baldwin, and Mr. Glave is in the Atlanta area signing copies of his book and speaking about his book as well, and we're going to speak with him right now. Thank you, Mr. Glave, for joining us.
Thank you, Jonathan.
So, your new book, tell us a little about it, please.
Sure. Well, it's a collection of 9 stories traveling different interior lives, different emotional landscapes, different political landscapes. I've seen it described as a sort of compilation of an experience of African American and Caribbean and gay experience across boundaries, I suppose. Yeah.
You grew up in the Bronx, right? But you're from Jamaica, correct?
I was born in the Bronx, and I grew up in the Bronx and in Jamaica, right.
As a child, was this your ambition to write stories and become an author? Was that your goals?
Yeah, for as long as I can remember, really actually going back to about the time that I was 4 years old, I really loved being around text and narrative, and I didn't necessarily name it to myself at that time as something that I was going to do with a capital W, like be a writer, but I knew that I always wanted to have language and stories and books in my life and very, very nearby. I knew that I wanted the proximity of the joy of narratives really close by.
These stories, as we were talking about a while ago, they become something of your own creativity, and they're your stories. And to let them go in a book, is that hard sometimes to give up? As you finish in completion of the book, and then you sell it and it's in publication. Is it hard to sort of like let it go almost?
It's been a little strange, in some ways difficult, I suppose, but also joyful. I think that letting go is an inevitable part of the process, right, of publishing. And at the same time that that happens, you also have, I feel, a kind of real elation that so many readers have been able to experience the book in their very own personal ways, based upon where they come from, who they are, how they read, etc. So that there's been such a sort of cross experience from different people going in different trajectories with the book. That's been really exciting to see and to actually hear readers tell me about. So I've enjoyed that, and that kind of perhaps in some ways compensates for some of the reluctance of actually letting the book become a book.
Right. Now these stories, some critics may say, how can he relate to a white man in America? What do you have to say about that?
Oh, there is a story in the book that's written in the first-person voice of a white woman. But I think that if we really are going to be imaginative people, imaginative human beings, part of the responsibility of being an imaginative, compassionate person in the world has to do very much with being able to imagine other people's lives, the lives of those who are not distinctly ourselves. And one could also ask the question, where do you draw the boundary as to what you are allowed to imagine? If we live in a world in which we are only allowed to imagine our own lives, I think that's pretty boring, actually. And I think that it's not very generous, ultimately, because you're not extending yourself beyond your own experience to imagine someone else's pain or joy or complexity. So part of the task, I think, of a writer, but also of a human being in the world, living with compassion, I think has to do with being able to have an expansive, compassionate, complex imagination.
You're on a pretty extensive tour right now. When does it end? How many places have you been? And where did you start? And where will you end up with this tour?
Yeah, I started touring actually just 2 days after the book was published in October of last year, 2000. And I toured until December. I did about 38 readings all over the country while teaching 2 classes at my university. And then I took 7 weeks off and went to Jamaica for the holidays to be with family and friends and do some political work also with a gay and lesbian group there. And then I came back on February 1st and began touring and have been really quite all over the country: Arkansas, Wyoming, Wisconsin, Florida. Now I'm here in Atlanta, and some parts of the Northeast as well. And I'll be touring until pretty much Memorial Day, with maybe 1 or 2 readings in June. But it's been interesting, it's been fascinating, and really quite educational for me as a writer and as a reader, too.
Do you drive yourself? I mean, I see you come in with no entourage. Do you promote yourself? Do you drive yourself around? I'm just interested in that perspective of what you do. I mean, that's a lot of motivation, if so, across the country, driving and, whatnot.
Right. Well, I've been hosted by a lot of colleges and universities, too, so that they, when they invite me in to do a reading or a lecture or something like that, they'll generally host me and arrange all the travel. So that's very easily taken care of. And then the bookstores, of course, right, are often nearby those places, so that's also very easily taken care of.
You've been, like I've already said, you're walking in the footsteps of such major great, such. Yeah, that's cut. Don't. Okay, I'm redoing that one. That was messed up. I'll cut it there.
You gonna be ambient noise? Well, that's okay though.
What now?
The ambient noise, you get the noise of the music.
Yeah. No, it's really the silence is. I got distracted for some reason and I couldn't.
Imagine.
Everything's going through my mind.
answers okay for you?
Yeah, they're fine. Okay. We're almost done.
No problem.
No, it's what's the award you won? Real quick, I want to ask.
Henry Award in 1997 and a Fulbright Fellowship
Okay.
in 1998.
I'm going to ask you about that. Okay. We have limited time, so you can't do that. What you've won some prestigious awards. What kind of awards have you won?
In 1997, I won an O. Henry Award for the short story The Final Inning that's in the collection. And as I found out later, I was the first black gay man after James Baldwin in 1959 to win that award. That was really exciting, of course, for a variety of reasons. And then in 1998, I won a Fulbright Fellowship, and I was in graduate school at the time and was preparing to leave to go teach, and then I got the fellowship, and I went to Jamaica and studied Caribbean and intellectual traditions, and also did political work there too, mostly gay and lesbian activism.
And you actually started the gay and lesbian activism there for the women, right? As I was told.
In Jamaica, I co-founded a group called the Jamaica Forum of Lesbians, Allsexuals, and Gays, JFLAG, with about 8 other people. I was one of the founding members, and that group is still active and doing some very powerful and important work in Jamaica.
So in some sense, you're a pretty well-known celebrity.
I don't know about that. I think that, you mean in Jamaica?
Here in the U.S., Jamaica.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. I don't think so. I think it's just been a time of real discovery. I mean, being able to share the book with people, that's been a principal joy, I have to say.
So where do you go from here?
Well, when I finish the book tour, I'll be doing some guest teaching over the summer at different universities, and then I'll be working on my next book. And then I'll start teaching again in the fall.
Exciting, exciting, huh? Any more books coming up that we should know about?
I'm working on this novel that I hope to finish within the next year and a half or so. We'll see how it goes. That's my principal project after this book. Yeah.
Busy man. Thank you so much for joining us on Out TV. Thank you, and have a great time in Atlanta and elsewhere. Thank you so much. Thank you.